The minutes crawled by as the mob finally showed up, dragging Sevyn's limp body through the dirt with a noose around his neck. They kicked and taunted him, treating him like nothing more than a toy, their angry shouts echoing in the night. "How long do you think it'll take before he's swinging lifelessly?" One man jeered, his breath heavy with alcohol. Another waved a jagged knife, its blade catching the festival's flickering light. He stabbed Sevyn in the side, and the crowd gasped, hungry for more. The clan leader, a large man in dark cloaks, stepped forward and spoke with fake excitement. "I guarantee this jigaboo will choke on his own blood before the last drop drains out of him. Somebody grab the bucket. We'll drink his blood first and then feast on his flesh." His wild laugh sent a chill through one of the men in the crowd. A nervous clan member, his mask slipping, spoke up as he looked around at the eager faces. "Wait, what? My God, do you really want us to drink his blood and eat his body? DW, I thought this was just a lynching. Your sister never said anything about us acting like Hannibal Lecter tonight. What's gotten into you?" His voice shook with fear as he realized just how far things had gone. The clan leader, growing impatient, lifted his mask to show a twisted, monstrous face. "We don't use the G word where I'm from," he said, his eyes shining with a strange excitement. He moved closer as the mob got ready for their revenge. "Just what the hell are you? What did you do with DW?" the man asked, his voice shaking with fear. "Didn't my sister tell you? Why do you think we're out here? Tonight, you will become one of us, a demon, just like my sister and everyone here," said the clan leader as everyone removed their masks. "Like hell I will. I'm a God-fearing man, a Christian. I will not allow Satan to trick me in his playground," said the clan member. "I told you about using the G word, didn't I? As I said before, we don't use that word," the clan leader snarled. His voice, thick with venom, echoed through the clearing. Without warning, he lunged at the man, jaws stretching impossibly wide. Fangs flashed in the moonlight, the air filled with the sickening crunch of bone and the wet, tearing sound of flesh. Blood sprayed in an arc as the leader bit off a chunk of the man's face and neck, the victim's dying scream cut short. The body slumped to the earth, crimson pooling beneath, as the mob recoiled in horror at the leader's monstrous transformation. In the aftermath, a new tension swept the clearing. Behind the mirrored lenses of his father's enchanted shades, Castor's sharp brown eyes sliced through the darkness, no longer seeing men in masks, but the true, grotesque forms of the nightmarish creatures hiding beneath human facades. Horns curled from their brows, skin rippled with scales, and fangs glistened between twisted lips. As Castor stepped from the shadows and into the bone-white moonlight, he unclasped the gold owl power-suppressant pendant and chain from his neck. The symbol of his lineage caught the light, casting a glint that sent a visible shudder through the gathered demons. His arrival was magnetic. The laughter and jeers died instantly, replaced by a suffocating silence. The demons, now revealed in all their monstrous glory, shifted uneasily, their wicked glee evaporating into palpable dread. A primal instinct overtook them. They began to sniff the air, their nostrils flaring as the stench of fear and power mingled. Their pupils dilated, and their red and gold irises reflected the moon as they recognized the very real threat Castor posed. Shoulders hunched, claws flexed, and the bravado of their earlier celebration drained away, leaving them exposed and uncertain. Castor stood tall, his presence commanding and unwavering. He let his silence stretch, letting the fear settle. When he finally spoke, his voice carried low and clear across the glade, every syllable weighted with authority and righteous fury. "You demons," he intoned, the words resonant and unyielding, "will not feast on that man's essence. Not now, not ever." The resolve to protect Sevyn's soul blazed in Castor's eyes, an unwavering force that propelled him forward. With a deliberate, fluid motion, He reached beneath the folds of his long black coat and drew forth a massive sword. The blade, forged with ancient sigils, gleamed with a hungry light in the silver wash of the moon. Its edge was keen, unforgiving, and cold, a weapon not just of metal, but of purpose, legacy, and the fierce determination of a protector. Castor's grip was steady, his stance poised to strike down anyone who dared threaten Sevyn. In that moment, he was both guardian and avenger, a living embodiment of the oath to safeguard the innocent at any cost. "Your aura," the clan leader's voice boomed, "is familiar. I have felt this unique sensation before, but where?" The grotesque creature pondered aloud, adding a layer of mystery to the confrontation that left everyone, including Castor, intrigued. "None of that matters! Hugo, come!" Castor roared, his voice slicing through the night. As he surged forward, the blade of his sword dragged along the cracked concrete, shrieking like a banshee, a sound that sent a shiver through even the boldest demons. Sparks spat and danced in the darkness, casting fleeting, hellish light on the twisted faces of the monsters. With every step, Castor's fury radiated outward, his presence warping the air, the ground itself seeming to recoil from his intent. His eyes, cold and merciless, promised only death. In that instant, the city park was transformed into a hunting ground, and Castor was the relentless predator. Castor moved like a shadow unchained from the abyss, a living echo of vengeance. Demons lunged, jaws snapping and claws carving the night, but he was a phantom, always where violence was least expected. Overhead, Sevyn dangled like a puppet cut loose by the gods, his body spasming as blood rained in crimson constellations across the grass. The metallic tang of iron mingled with sulphur and the scorched stink of burning hair, every breath thick with the perfume of the damned. Castor's blade sang a requiem, its arc painting the darkness with ribbons of gore. Demon heads spun from their bodies, eyes frozen in terror, mouths gaping in a last silent scream. The carnage was art, ritual and warning, a blood-stamped sigil against all who would challenge him. From the darkness, a self-driving hearse glided into the clearing, windows black as prophecy, chrome gleaming with the cold grandeur of an emperor's tomb. The rear door gaped wide, a mechanical maw hungry for the dead, as a black casket slid forth with a serpentine hiss, eager to swallow sorrow and secrets alike. Demons howled and snapped at his heels, but Castor strode through the mire, gore and moonlight churning beneath his boots. His stare never wavered from Sevyn, who hung above it all like a sacrificial offering to some ancient, hungry god. With a flick of his wrist, Castor's dagger became a whisper of silver, slicing the rope in a heartbeat. Sevyn's body plummeted, thudding into the casket, limbs sprawled, puppet strings cut, the echo ringing out like a final bell for the damned. Castor knelt beside the fallen, wrenching the demon blade from Sevyn's corpse with a wet, ragged sound that echoed in the hush, half blessing, half curse. He whispered a prayer in a language older than moonlight, syllables crackling with hope and warning. Blood slicked his trembling hands as he sealed the casket and sent it sliding back into the hearse's yawning maw. The ritual was a grim benediction, a desperate gambit to shelter Sevyn's soul from the jaws of the devouring dark. "Hugo, home!" Castor commanded, his voice cutting through the chaos, a thunderclap of resolve amid the storm. The hearse screeched away, tires shrieking as Hugo sped toward the funeral home where Pollux and Mr. Abgel waited in the sanctuary of shadows. Demons gave chase, but Castor, blade a blur, reduced their threats to headless warnings, painting the grass with finality. Alone beneath the city's haunted trees, Castor and the clan leader circled one another, a dance of predators, each measuring the other's hunger and hate. "Why risk your life for him? Who is he to you?" the clan leader sneered, voice oily with malice. Castor answered with silence. His reply was steel. He surged forward, feinting low, then drove the demon's own dagger up through the monster's jaw, the blade bursting out like a black tongue of judgment. In the same breath, Castor seized his sword in both hands and swung it with all his might, severing the clan leader's head in a crimson spray, an exclamation point of violence against the knight. "I care so much because he is going to be the next Garnet Warrior, you asshole," said Castor as he looked down at the headless body. When the last demon had fallen, silence swept the park, a silence broken only by the wet slap of Castor's boots in the blood-soaked grass. He slipped his gold pendant back over his neck, the weight of legacy settling onto his shoulders once more. Nearby, a battered trash can beckoned. Castor dumped its contents and methodically collected the severed heads, their eyes frozen in masks of terror and agony, stuffing them into the black plastic bag with a grim efficiency. He left the headless corpses sprawled for the authorities, an unspoken message to monsters and men alike. Picking up his battered black top hat, he settled it on his crown of locks, the brim shadowing his face. With a final weary sigh, Castor slung the bag of heads over his shoulder, gore dripping onto his coat. He whistled a low, haunting tune as he strode from the carnage, disappearing down the midnight streets, a sinister spectre, both hunter and harbinger, vanishing into the city's waiting dark.